Hi, I'm David D., the official voice of the best thriller books. I'm here to introduce the next episode of The Five Angry Men. Today, they discuss their favourite athlete from childhood and their favourite athlete today. No one asked me, but my favourite athlete from childhood would have to be Czech player Tomáš Skoravi, and my favourite athlete today would have to be martial artist Jesse Enkamp. Anyway, here are the boys.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Five Angry Men from the Best Thriller Books. With me, as always, is Todd, Chris Cifo Miller, Derek, and Steve Sasquatch Netter. Our topic today is which is your favorite athlete, or who, I guess is more accurate, who is your favorite athlete as a child, and who is your favorite athlete now? Let's start with Jim Thorpe. Derek,
Okay.
what do you think?
Well, staying along, kind of copying Miller because I know he's going to do it. This one, you have to think about it, but he was an athlete. But when we were kids, the person that we liked to watch all the time was Evel Knievel. Watching him, on Wide World of Sports coming up, every couple months, jumping whatever, he was huge, even had his own little action figure that we used to jump down the stairs into the basement. The second one was Roberto Clemente, played right field for the Pirates, just phenomenal athlete. He was one of my favorites when I was a kid. If we're going for who's my favorite athletes now, Tiger Wood. You can't shut the guy down. You got to watch him every time he's on. You pull for him, just because he's the GOAT right now. Or he was. The other one I like is Brock Purdy. I love that kid, Mr. Irrelevant. And I'm not even a San Francisco fan, but he's Mr. Irrelevant. And he came out and he just showed him that, hey, you can't
cut him off.
Derek's just pandering to Dooley right now, man. That's just a pander.
No, it's not a pander. I mean, you got to give the guy a lot of credit. He didn't let that label, dictate of how he plays, or he said, "I'm going to prove you guys wrong," and he did. So give that guy a lot of credit.
He still got drafted. He's a professional football player. I don't know.
He's the last one.
Of that one, whatever.
Yeah. So that's my list.
I don't want to say anybody can do it. I don't want to say anybody can do it, but all he did was throw check downs all year long. So I just
it worked.
I can't get over that.
It worked. Play within your system.
Quarterback.
No, he did it. He did his job. He did his job.
100% he did.
Derek, I'm gonna take a little exception with the Evel Knievel as a traditional athlete, but the man is impressive. Was impressive.
Yeah.
Though definitely physically demanding activity. So I'm gonna let you slide. Also, you are old as dirt.
Todd, come on. I'm gonna let you slide, Mister. I'm gonna pick 17 athletes right now, and they're all Patrick Mahomes.
I only have 4.
All right. Well, then
they're
Messi, Mahomes.
No, get out of here. No.
Let's hear yours, Todd.
Okay. All right. So this may surprise some. I was a decent basketball player in my very, very youth. I was
NBA Jam, baby.
I was almost as good as Stu. Almost.
Those ones where you could lower the basket with a,
Right, exactly. On 6-foot goal, I was amazing. But so basketball was my sport initially growing up. So Dominique Wilkins was actually my favorite player
in
the 90s. Yep. But in tandem with Spud Webb.
Chocolate Thunder, Derek.
It's going to get us canceled.
Oh, that was Daryl Dawkins.
Dawkins. Yeah.
Sorry.
Dawkins. But it was kind of a combo of Dominique and Spud Webb. I absolutely love Spud Webb because, again, dude was 5'6", doing windmill dunks. He wasn't necessarily the best shooter, but man, what an absolute athlete. I really did aspire to be him. My 6-foot vert never really kicked in. But I do have witnesses to this. I did once dunk a tennis ball in Cameron Indoor Stadium and have witnesses. So at one point,
on a 10-foot rim,
on a 10-foot rim, on Cameron, proper.
One of those trampoline jumps.
No, I may have had one of the basketball players pick me up. No, but I used to be able to jump Spud Webb-ish, but no longer. Getting up hurts now. I'm like Derek. So I've reached that point in my life. But yeah, so Dominique Wilkins, just loved watching him play, and then Spud was my man. Now the reason I was asking before we started recording, but Derek already okayed it for me, is how recently they were retired. Zlatan Ibrahimovic it will always be my favorite athlete of any era. The man is I hope he's like that. Like, actually, his personality is insane. The man could not have a bigger ego, and I love him for it. He also does back it up on the field, so I appreciate that. For active players, as Steve expects, Ronaldo is my boy. He's still got a year or two left in him. If he doesn't get banned for making inappropriate gestures in Saudi Arabia. But Cristiano Ronaldo, current favorite, Zlatan all time. That's what I got.
Right.
What do you
Strong
guys?
brand with the soccer players. Good job.
I know. I had to make the switch.
And that's time.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised we didn't hear Patrick Mahomes. I'll be honest. I'm just surprised we
Now,
didn't hear Patrick Mahomes.
I'm a Holmes. I love watching him play. I mean, love having him here. Seems like a good dude. Kelsey entertains me more. As you know, as an
Look,
individual.
I don't mind. I
As a
don't mind
Swiftie.
Travis Kelsey. He's exciting to watch. He's fun to
Yeah.
watch. So
Yeah, he and Jason.
And
the New
your
Heights
girls
podcast
like
is
watching
hilarious.
because when this girlfriend comes on, they get to see her on TV, huh? Yeah.
that's what happens.
It happens. It happens. But no, yeah. Hey, I had to pick kicky ball. Had to do it.
All right. Let's pass it over to Steve. Steve, what do you got?
All right. As a kid, so I also played basketball. I also was decent. I actually played against a guy who spent like 8 or 9 years in the NBA, and he killed us because he was 7 feet tall. So yeah, I love Larry Bird. Larry Bird was my guy growing up. I wore number 33 when I played because of him. He was my idol. I actually worked a semester in college for the Indiana Pacers, and he was the coach there, and I ran into him in the bathroom. And highlight
Leave
my
that story right there.
yeah, right. That's right. Couple others from a kid, and I love that whole 80 Celtics team too, right? McHale and Parrish and DJ and Danny Ainge and all of them. But I've got a couple that'll probably poke Miller in the eye because they're New York people. I love the 86 Mets and everyone on that team. So Strawberry, Doc Gooden, Keith Hernandez, Gary Carter, those were my guys. And the 86 Giants as well. Phil Simms, Mark Bavaro, Joe Morris, all those guys. Some great teams, a lot of cool dudes to follow growing up on the East Coast, and way better than anyone ever came out of Philadelphia. As for now, it's interesting. Like my interests have changed quite a bit. Like, I don't really have favorite baseball or football players anymore. I like to watch the sports, but like I don't really follow anyone individually. I am much more into the kicky ball, as Todd would call it. So, I'll go with the Pulisics, the Human Sons, and locally here, Sophia Smith from the Portland Thorns and the U.S. Women's Team striker. She's awesome. Love watching her play. I'm a big hockey fan. Jack Hughes on the Devils is my guy. And then maybe more obscure, you guys are going to say who, but basketball, Trace Jackson Davis. He plays for the Golden State Warriors. He's from IU, played 4 years in Indiana. He's a top 5 player all time in scoring and rebounding and blocks. And he's getting to watch him play with Steph Curry and Chris Paul and, put up, double doubles here and there as a rookie is really fun. Just as a proud alum of the same school.
Jeez. All right. I think Steve wins for picking the most people. He picked
Yeah.
three.
Well, to be
three
fair, I
wait.
thought
5
Todd was going to pick
players.
50.
Three
I
times.
had to
Hey,
guess
man.
52.
But you don't
I
got
can't
Miller
just
going
do that.
yet.
Only person who loved those 86 Mets more than Steve were their drug dealers.
Fair enough.
All right.
But you also like Bill Buckner, don't you?
Oh, very much.
Bill Buckner gave you guys that World Series that year.
I'll take it. By the way, since we are best of books, there is a great book about the 86 Mets called The Bad Guys Won. Highly recommend it. It's very entertaining.
Derek, the book is the thing with the pages that flip.
Yeah.
I know we're going to be live on X, Twitter, whatever. So I'll just do this to you.
Well,
All right.
when I'm gonna
Seafoam.
go now, and
Nah.
I've got a few. I don't have a lot, but as a child, I grew up in that Jordan era where everybody loved to watch the Chicago Bulls play. Kukoc, um, Pippen, Rodman, Jordan, like that whole crew was, I mean, Steve Kersher. That whole crew was fun to watch. They were just exciting, very fun to watch, and very
Bill
entertaining.
Cartwright.
But going back a little bit more, and I'm going to steal a little bit of Stu's thunder, I think, right here, is that when I played baseball as a kid, one of my favorite people to watch was Ken Griffey Jr. And he has one of the most iconic swings you've ever seen in sports. And I absolutely loved watching him play. It was just exciting, like entertaining again. Loved it. I did grow up in the South, so I do love NASCAR. However, I don't know if they're athletes or not, but I grew up a huge Dale Earnhardt fan.
They're athletes. They're athletes.
So-
Thumbs up from Todd.
I have him right here. This is Dale Earnhardt, signed by him. Rest in peace, Dale. Raise hell, praise Dale. Other than that, I think if we went current, I'm
Chase
big. I'm a big golf fan. Okay, yeah, sure. Chase Elliott. That's my NASCAR guy. I really like him. He's already won a championship. It was really cool. I think he won it when he was like 23, 24 years old. So he's got that under his belt. With that being said, I'm huge into golf now. So I love watching. The live guys are actually really fun to watch too. So aside from PGA, Scotty Scheffler's fun to watch, but I really like Brooks Koepka. Very entertaining, very, very good golfer. And aside from that, my favorite player, and I kind of follow in line with Steve. I don't really have favorite players anymore. I kind of just follow the teams. It's just hard to keep up with how many people have changed teams over time. But Jason Kelsey was absolutely a blast to watch. Sad to see him retire, but glad to see him retire an Eagle. But that was probably the guy that I love to watch the most play sports. He was in the trenches every single down. It hurt, not hurt. He was out there giving every bit he could, and I think he's my favorite athlete right now, even though he just retired.
Nice.
Poor
Yeah,
thing.
you really did steal my thunder.
I'm sorry, I had to. I had the Griffey shoes. Like
Yeah.
I want the hat. There's a hat out now that's just got a swing on the front of it in the Mariners colors. Like I want it. I just haven't bought it yet. So
Yeah. That was my first pick too. I'm terrible at baseball. I can't see for anything swinging a bats, but Griffey was still, a Northwest guy, of course. Other ones for me from like my childhood, obviously MJ, but being short, I liked all the crazy point guards, Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury, Gary Payton, who went to Oregon
What about-
State.
what about
Muggsy
Bogues?
Bogues. Yeah, he's too young for Muggsy.
True. Yeah. I am the
He was
youthful
born
one.
while Muggsy was playing.
That Hornets team that he was on was absolutely like had the dynasty written for him if it wouldn't have been for the Bulls. Like they had a really
Fun
good team.
My current one's sticking with the basketball team. Just I've been a basketball fan my whole life, but Klay Thompson, who plays for the Warriors, but he went to Washington State, so I got to see him play a couple times when he played down Corvallis. My cousin actually at the time was the manager at Washington State, so I got to meet Klay once, and my cousin just raved about how like genuine of a guy he is. So I always like watching him, and then. Not long after my daughter was born, I started watching WNBA and have gotten really into it. So like Candace Parker, love watching her. She's so good. Kelsey Plum, who's like a short point guard who went to University of Washington, also is like really fun to watch. So that's like a fun niche type thing that I enjoy just doing with my kids. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I would say that wraps it up for me.
Very nice.
Hey, are they talking
Awesome.
about Clay getting traded too? I thought I heard something about that he might get traded away from the Warriors.
Oh, this ain't ESPN, dude. I don't know.
He's been coming off the bench a little bit more recently.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think
Well,
there's
that
some good
does it.
picks.
I'm wrapping this up. We're way over time, guys.
Todd's fault.
That's it for us at Best Thriller Books. For Todd, Chris, Derek, Steve, and myself, I'm Stuart. We'll see you next time at Best Thriller Books on Twitter or bestthrillerbooks.com. See you later.